If you look at the scoreboard, you may think Manchester City somehow stole the game at the very end. But the story of the match, for me, it's completely different. Manchester City did not suddenly start winning the game in the 84th minute, but it is because of the pressure that they were building for a long time, especially in the second half, which broke Bournemouth's defense. At the same time, this game showed us some interesting things about Enzo Maresca's Manchester City. So how Manchester City come back from 1-0 to 2-1 to win the game? Let's break it down on the tactical board. So both the teams starts with 4-2-3-1. And this is the same formation that Manchester City used against Arsenal in the Community Shield that they lost 3-0. And here, one of the finest thing you will notice about Enzo Maresca, because he learned something that day. One of the biggest mistake is to play Kovacic in that center midfield role, because he doesn't, track back ever. I know, everyone's know. So what he did, he take a very difficult decision, because you cannot do that in the Premier League. And that's why I really give a lot of positivity to Enzo Maresca. He started Marc Guéhi at the CDM role. So what happened when Manchester City is in the attack? Haaland was here. Foden, interestingly, most of the time, he was trying to stay here at the wide, and Rico Lewis was coming inside. With Nico O'Reilly tried to be in this position, Semiano tried to be here to play 1-1 against Smith. Marc Guéhi, interestingly, he stayed a little bit deeper in the first half. And Elliot Anderson was playing like a box crusher. Sometimes he's coming here, sometimes he's staying back. With Kushanov ultimately being a right center back, Diaz at the middle, and Josko Gvardiol was, a left back or left center back, we can say. Now, interesting what is happening in the attack, because Manchester City should have scored 2 goals. So the most interesting player during the attack, you can say Rico Lewis. And that has been a fact that Rico Lewis is an very good player, you can say, but defensively he is very bad. So first of all, let's talk about during attack. Rico Lewis was continuously making run at this position, continuously, and the intelligence of Phil Foden helped a lot. You can see here like how Phil Foden move inside and play a ball to Rico Lewis, where he get a 1v1 chance to Petrovic, but he missed. So like this, they were playing in attack, and Semiano tried a maximum amount of time to give 1v1 to Smith. Most of the time he succeeded to come here and he passed the ball, and Haaland had the opportunity but he missed, obviously because of less sharpness. This is his preseason, you can say, because he did not have a preseason properly. And in defense, what happened? Marc Guéhi stayed most of the time here because he just want to take the ball. If anything comes, he will defend, he will help the defense. And Anderson also coming down and up to help to build the game. So when Enavinson and Clivert and Ryan and Tavernier all were pressing the team, what happened? Like already, you see, if like this, most of the time they have the numerical advantage, because Marc Guéhi sometimes come here, take the ball, or Elliot Anderson comes here and Guéhi remain here. So by this, it was easy for Manchester City to build up. And hats off to Donnarumma, because he has improved a lot with his feet. Because most of the time, if you see that if Ryan come here to Guéhi, Gvardiol remains here and he can directly give a ball to Josko directly. So that's hats off to Donnarumma, and he has improved with his feet a lot. Now, how Manchester City concede the goal? As I already told you, like when they were playing in this way, like Diaz, Kusanov and Josko, they are the defense, and in the counter attack, Guéhi, if sometimes if he missed his player, okay, then they will just come all together. That is the gameplay of Bournemouth. It has been like that. But problem is with Rico, because Rico, even if he track back, his defensive awareness is very bad. So if you see in this video easily that Rico is sleeping, and that's why Tavernier is free. Also, it was a very good ball from Enavinson, but Tavernier should be covered by Rico. So that is one of the reasons that Manchester City considered. So in the second half, what happened? Like, to increase the space after 60 minutes, he make changes. Because most of the time Nico O'Reilly is trying to be with Haaland, and sometimes he coming here so that he can play the ball to Semillano, in easy way. He can do that. Or he can give the ball back to Marc Guéhi. So this is how he was playing, and Nico O'Reilly is not, we haven't seen him play as a cam, but he can play as a cam for sure. So in the second half, what Maresca did, he did not change the formation, he did not change the structure, but he tweaked little bit the formation. Instead of Nico O'Reilly, he brought Cherki. And Cherki is brilliant with the ball. He can dribble, he can do anything. Sadly, Anderson got a cramp and he went away, and came Kova, which is a very difficult thing. But he changed his position. Kovacic then started to play in Guéhi's position, and Guéhi actually started to play as Elliot Anderson's role, and he was going up and down. So that's very interesting, and you will see because of him Manchester City scored the goal. And when Cherki came here, he changed Rico and he bring Matheus Nunes, probably one of the best right back right now in the world. Nunes is good, he can track back. His defensive awareness is 10-20 times better than easily than Rico Lewis. So Nunes then started running at this wide position, and that makes Phil Foden to come here. So now this changed the entire situation for Manchester City attack, because they now have two number 10s playing behind Haaland, and this guy can easily dribble past any defender, and this guy is very good to look into that small pocket. So that is the beauty of Phil Foden. So that's how Manchester City actually scored the goal. And Marc Guéhi actually played fantastic in this stadium position, but I don't think he will play a lot in this position because he's a fantastic center back. Manchester City may absolutely will need him in the center back, but he can be a solution whenever Maresca need him in that position. And one thing very interesting about Manchester City remains same. Once they can smell the blood, they will come to hunt you. So at that 84th minute, when they were able to score the goal with the help of Marc Guéhi, obviously Cherki's fantastic delivery from the corner, they understood, they knew that no, they can come back. And obviously it was at 80th, so huge possibility that Manchester City will come back. But that still remains with this team, still remains in the blood of these players, that the comeback masters. So that's very interesting, and it will be very fascinating to see how Manchester City will grow under Maresca, because Maresca is something new. Nobody can replace Pep Guardiola. I know, everyone's know. It's impossible. But something refreshing we can see from Enzo Maresca tactics, and he is bold. He is fearless. He doesn't care. He will implement what he thinks is correct, because playing Guéhi in that position after you lose the game in the Community Shield, man, you need a lot of guts, and that is what Enzo Maresca is. Still, it is very early. Let's see how Manchester City evolve under Enzo Maresca. So there you go, Enzo Maresca's Manchester City.